Bingo. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. You are now rocking with the best. Know the Ledge TV is back in the building. Peace, family. All right.
Indeed.
Welcome back to another episode. Of course, we had to work out some minor kinks. Nonetheless, we are here broadcasting live and direct.
Yes, sir.
All right. We back in the building. A Friday night wave.
Yes, indeed. Friday night with the pillars.
You already know what it is.
You already know. Peace to the family. I got my Instagram live fired up. We here on Facebook. Know the Ledge TV is the handle for anybody on Facebook. Do us a favor, share the link with your network. Share it like it's a hot rumor. Get it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, push that thing around. It's the latest rumor.
Well, we're gonna be dealing with the latest news tonight, talking about the plethora of news stories that are out there,
It's a lot going on.
controlling the narrative. You know, if we don't know how this works at this point, we should be very astute to how this news cycle and how news is created, or the stream of news, and how things become trendy and viral.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, indeed. There's a proven formula at this particular point, and the continuation of the compartmentalization of news stories continues. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
You
definitely.
know, everything is treated like an isolated incident.
Everything.
Nobody weaves narratives together at all.
Exactly.
I should
And
pay for my weaving, god damn it. Because these
indeed,
people are failing you miserably.
indeed. What was the movie with Morgan Freeman and they were the Weavers, the Ancient Order of the Weavers?
Was it Last Kiss Goodnight? Which
They
one
could
was
have, huh?
I I
It might
remember
have been,
yeah,
yeah.
I seen some dope joint, some Illmatic joints with Morgan, you know. I was probably zooted most of the time, so I don't remember the names and
Yeah,
stuff.
if anybody out there remembers the movie where Morgan Freeman is of the Secret Order of Weavers, because there's a lot of long weaves out there. They rocking that Nicki Minaj, you know, the long weave. I'm talking about they coming out there with 52 inches, but they're not weaving together these stories. They're not weaving together these conversations. They're not weaving the
Narrative.
narrative.
Facts.
You know, people are allowing isolated incidents such as Trump calling African countries a piece of shit, and they're not
Oh,
weaving together the
yeah.
narrative, which is most important.
Let me go live on IG so we can get some of this.
They're not even. I haven't even. Well, I saw a few people. I'm not going to discredit those who are being a part of this. They're utilizing this as a teaching moment, but people are not using the uh, the information that's out there to prove that Haiti has become what is known as a shithole country because of shithole people who got flushed from the toilets of Europe as robber barons, thieves and murderers, rapists, and all kind of degenerates, and basically opened up a reign and actually robbed. You know, a shithole could be, you know, seen as a place where it's like everything is gone. You know what I mean? Like it's the worst place to be. But when you look at those caves in Africa, and when you look at those empty forests in the Amazon and all other places that have been exploited by these same Europeans who descend from the bloodline of not only Trump, because it's not only an isolated incident with him, he's the dog whistle for a whole movement. He's repeating rhetoric that can be easily read on these sites, on these right wing sites, on sites that belong to quote unquote homeland terrorist. So he's repeating terrorist rhetoric on a global scale.
Right. He's popularizing um, domestic terrorist rhetoric that normally the ACLU and all of those other foundations, you know what I'm saying, they would cite any politician that espouses rhetoric that's identical to hate groups. That's hate speech. All
Yes.
right. And not only is it hate speech, but it emanates from the depths and the bowels of organizations that have already been deemed domestic terrorists in this country. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually, you know, they said it last week that he was the biggest threat to national security. You know what
By
I
the
mean?
normalization, right? By the normalization of not just racist rhetoric. He's going beyond the scope of racist rhetoric with his base. Remember, he's not speaking to the people who he's deeming residents or descendants of the shithole countries. He's like, why they even got to come here to be a part of the conversation? His racist rhetoric is basically aimed at his base to,
He
to
always puts on for his base.
embolden, huh?
He puts on for his base.
He puts on for his city, he puts on for his base, and he definitely feeds them the red meat in these red states that they need to prepare themselves and to justify themselves for just being participants of a new reality. That's really what he's doing. He's seeding this demographic, and it's a global demographic because it's not just relegated to the red states, which happen to be a humongous percentage of people. You know what I mean? For all of the people that want to do the math,
it's a
go and do
huge
the numbers.
percentage. You know what
Huh?
I'm saying? If you look at the number disparity, it's roughly 44 to 45 million melanated people in this country, self-identifying people that fall under those brands of Negro, Black, and Colored. But if you look at the Caucasian in this country, we what is it, about 230 million?
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost six times the amount
Facts.
of melanated bodies in this particular landmass. And you can do the percentage and you can do the numbers to figure out how many of them are Trump supporters. But Trump is espousing sentiments that resonate globally because this is also what they're saying in Europe. This is the push that they're saying in Israel.
Israel.
You feel
Fact.
me? Israel's like, get these fucking Africans, these stinking
Outta
Africans out of here. Anytime you hear immigrants, anytime you hear refugees, right? This is coded language in media for dirty people.
Homeless. No, homeless is, remember,
Undesirable.
homeless. Remember how people treat homeless people in LA, in New York, in Atlanta. You're without home. What about stateless people? That's what a refugee is. That goes beyond homeless. In a homeless situation, you have a shelter. As a homeless person, you have the opportunity to possibly sleep on somebody's couch. You could be a professional couch surfer. You could even sleep in a car. As a stateless refugee, you have no state. You have nowhere to go. You're a wanderer. You're a gypsy. You're a nomad. You are easy prey because you have no constitution and no flag. Thus, nobody has to respect your inalienable rights. There's no one to enforce it.
Right. Nobody has to honor your cries.
Nobody
Nobody
has to honor your cries. That's why the refugees who are passing through Libya, the quote unquote former slave gave up the game. He said there are multinational ships, carriers on the high seas, the Mediterranean Sea. What they do is when they send out the Coast Guard to intercept us, they put us on these ships. These ships are not taking the Africans back to Africa. These ships are not even taking the Africans into Europe for safe passage. These ships are not taking them to deportation facilities these ships are disappearing with its cargo. So there's hundreds and thousands of Africans that are put into all kind of other sex trafficking and organ harvesting and all kind of other human trafficking. Remember, they're selling people's bodies. A human body, when you break down all of the organs on the underground organ harvesting market, it's about $1 million. That's a fucking bird if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
So they're out here. It's a big bird, no Sesame Street.
Yeah.
So they out here flipping big birds of people who are deemed what? Inhabitants of shitholes.
Right. Undesirables.
Undesirables. Donald Trump is the caliphate for the Crusaders. He's the caliphate for the Christian Crusaders. He's blowing a dog whistle. And instead of being reactionary as a people, we have to use this as a teacher moment. This is a perfect time to get my guy Tariq Nasheed's documentary 1804, and also both Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, and 4. And don't use emotionalism. Infiltrate Black Twitter and use this as a teaching moment. At all of the people who are trying to talk down, and you know, the people, not even the people that are trying to talk down, at the entertainers who claim to be woke, at all of these fake, at all of these commercialized conscious people who are on platforms who have access to mainstream medium and whatnot. At them. And the more people begin to at them, then people must say, all right, I gotta rock with this narrative because this is a talking point. The emotionalism, I can't believe he said that. That's retarded. That's retardation.
I mean, again, like I said, unfortunately, our news is so compartmentalized, right? Because the news, the people that are telling you what's going on are not reporting, you know, anything weaved together. They're not putting no pieces together. So the report came out 2 weeks ago.
Facts.
Trump was in the White House referring to Haitians and Africans with derogatory terms, right?
No
so
smoke.
This is a repetitious story. You know what I'm saying? He's been caught twice with his hands in the cookie jar. But my question to everybody in attendance and everyone is listening is, at what point are we surprised? Like, we're still not, and this is for the family listening. This is for, stop letting these people dictate, right? Logic to you. You come up with your own conclusions based on what you see. It looked like a duck, it walked like, God damn it, that shit is a duck. You don't need the media to tell you that this nigga's KKK. You don't need the media to tell you that he's fucking racist and has no inclination whatsoever, no love, no concern for your struggles. He puts on for his base. He is to white America what Obama was supposed to be to Black America.
Supposed to be. Keyword.
You know what I'm saying? So he's showing you, look, nigga, this is how you do it. I'm going to put all the way on. I'm going to risk it all. I'm going to put it on the line. That's their fucking hero. They'll never do nothing with him. They love that man. I'm
talking all of them.
Yeah, I don't care what Becky at the water cooler told you. You know what I'm saying? He makes them feel comfortable.
He does.
Right? Because like my brother Ishmael Bey, shout out to Ishmael Bey, said he plays with insecurities. And they're very insecure. And there's nothing that they need more right now than somebody like him with the long whip putting niggas in their place. You feel me?
It's about putting them sleep at their place.
Because for all the entertainers, for all the fake nigga outrage, you know what I'm saying, for everything that people went through the other day with the H&M baby, no entertainer spoke about Israel kicking Africans out of Israel.
None.
I mean, you know, Jews kicking Africans out of Israel. You feel me? Nobody brought none of that up. Nobody came at them with no bars talking about synagogue of Satan. You ain't the, you know what I'm saying? That's the homeland and X, Y, and Z. I ain't even hear no black Hebrew. I ain't hear no Hebrew Israelites going in. You dig? Making it plain, like explain to us, okay, are those not the tribes? Are they outside of which one are they? Because I know that they be going hard on the Africans. You know so who are they? Who are the Eritreans? Who are the Ethiopians? You feel me? If they're not the quote unquote melanated Jews. If they're not the original Hebrews, then who are? You know what I mean? People that come from that region of Ethiopia, have they no claim or no merit on that landmass whatsoever? You know, whose head can people go over, you know what I'm saying, over Israel? You go to the UN, you know, like is our struggle only mitigated to what's going on in the inner cities of North America, or is it diasporic? Is it global? Do we even do we understand the conversation that's taking place or the narrative? Because if we did, right? Shout out to my brother Oba. I seen him on Black Dot's channel earlier. You know, just like the brother said, slavery did not end in Africa. The Arab never rescinded their policy on slavery, ever. So while we were getting free over here, quote unquote, this is a big fucking quote. You understand? While they were going through liberation movements in the diaspora, right? And while there was liberation movements in certain parts of the continent, slavery was never taken off the table. You know what I'm saying? And what we see happening to the continent as a whole in terms of the raping of minerals is fucking slavery. They're gutting the mineral wealth
Right.
of countries as we speak, and it never stopped. I'm talking about to the point where they become shitholes, or to the point where they come to a condition that somebody looking outside can say that's a shithole and have all the fucking nerve in the world to fix their face and say that. So the lumber industry stripping of Haiti, you know what I'm saying? Now the oil and the gold and all of the people that are coming in for the minerals, you know what I'm saying? They are stripping these places barren. And then when people go to those places, they like, damn, why does this place look so jacked up and barren? Maybe it's a curse on the people because they fought the good Frenchmen for their liberty and whooped some ass, you know? So they're cursed because they made a pact with the devil. They got you believing stupid shit like that and repeating it. And then when you go to Congo, okay, and you see how the rubber and industry and what have you has what is it, the coltan,
Colton.
you know, and when you go to South Africa and you see what they've done with the diamonds and how they dig craters in the earth,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Taking these people's mineral resources from their lands and then selling it back to them, and then have the nerve to fix their face and say, you come from a shithole. You understand?
Having multi-trillion dollar corporations, right? With the mechanical power to basically uproot mountains.
Facts.
And in these mountains are villages surrounding these mountains. I mean, hundreds of radiuses of miles of living quarters. So if the land is mineral rich, and if the land proves to be $1 trillion, bastion of wealth, how is it that simple plumbing and simple lighting, simple plumbing, and a waste system,
Waterway system,
water
irrigation.
waste system has not ever been developed in any of these countries where you're uprooting billions of dollars of wealth? And I'm not talking about wealth where you can make it rain. I'm speaking about the actual lifeline of the industrial revolutions. We're talking rubber, we're talking coltan, we're talking steel, we're talking gold. We're not talking about the additive. You know, when you make a cake and there's the vanilla extract, we're actually speaking about the flour that's making these cakes. So for anybody, running around,
For the phone to be powered, for that bastard to be on to say something about a shithole, for him to be on Twitter, his phone is charged and powered by the mineral resources that come from the very country that he wants to keep the people out of, that he's calling a shithole. The irony. The irony. You understand? But I mean, there's no surprises here, none whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like we could sit back and watch what these people do, and it must be some chip in us that we want to believe so much that they love us or they're gonna have a change of heart, that we come back every fucking time saying, yo, did he change his mind yet? Did he change his mind yet? Did Trump, you know, did he get a sense of humanity? No, he don't fuck with you. He came in with the travel ban on all African countries. Okay? He don't fuck with you. You understand?
Yep.
So he wants to build a wall for the brown people. He wants to get rid of all of the health care and all of the government services for the black and the brown people. Okay? He just shitted on Puerto Rico and flushed them. You understand?
And not only did he build a wall,
Hey,
hold on.
they had the race riots. He said it was good people on both sides. I mean,
Both
what
sides.
do you want?
Look, Blue,
Like, this is dangerous.
Blue. People get caught up in the whole thing about the wall for Mexico. By having a travel ban on those 7 African nations, he did more than just build a wall. He built a force field around the United States of America and blocked 7 countries where none of those countries are on record for attacking America. But
Right.
when you go and study the Crusades, when you go and study biblical narrative or biblical lore, these are all of those places: the Sudan, Syria, Palestine. That's where Christ was from, allegedly. The Sudan. He banned Syria. He banned, I think, Yemen. He's banning the Mesopotamians. They have a problem with a certain strand of DNA that exists in Africa, where there are proxy secret wars taking place right now, and they're wiping out people with a certain kind of pure strand of DNA. Because when you do the research on the cradle of civilization, and then when you take a look at where America is fighting wars right now, and I'm not talking about regular wars, I'm talking about wars that are going down as genocide. It all goes back. So the culprits that we're looking at is what you identified earlier as Israel, Saudi Arabia, and of course America by way of the UK and the Church and the Crown.
Yes, that's the Trilateral Commission that's
That's
wreaking
it.
havoc right now on this planet, and they're at war with indigenous people everywhere that they come into contact with them. You know, the U.S. has proxy wars in 52, I think, of the 53 countries
Yes,
on
they
the
do. Yes, sir. 52 or 53
52 out of 53.
of the countries, not the states.
Yeah, the countries, not the states. Your government that you pay taxes to. It's about to go up in your pockets in a few days. They're at war on the continent, on the shithole continent. So if he's showing you his outward expression, right, about what he thinks about these people, then I mean, what you think he think about the land? What you think he think about the animals? He already lifted the bans on the poachers and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They
And
done
his
lifted the
sons are
ban.
professional
Yeah,
killers of animals. Somebody said
yeah.
proxy war.
For the people that's still reading the Bible, like, what's your perception? Like when you look at this administration, when you look at these people in charge, you know what I'm saying? When you find out about Hollywood, when you understand what's going on, shit, when you see all of these natural calamities and disasters, when you see the West Coast on fire, when you see the water walls rising 50-foot water walls and all, like, what are you doing in your own psychology to match that with what you read all of your life in that Bible that was preparing you for an imminent time when things like this will be happening?
Word. I
And
don't
what
hear a lot from them.
position, what place and position do you put this administration? Is it Christ friendly, or is it more like on the side of the devil and his minions? Like, if that's the ideology that you operate, if that's your OS, if that's your operating system, and you have to put things in perspective in order for you to properly analyze your environment, especially as it pertains to your book, because your book's supposed to be a living prophecy, then what are you seeing? And based on what you're seeing, how is it making you respond or show up in the world to say, yo, You just gonna sit back and just watch prophecy take place, or are you getting involved in some way? Are you telling it on the mountain? You know what I'm saying? Are you proselytizing? You know what I mean? Are you getting ready for the return? What are you doing? God damn it! Like, what are you doing? You feel me?
Yep.
And you know, like you said, the brother Oba said something deep. You know, the brother said a lot of deep things. I definitely advise the family to go to Urban X
Yeah,
TV on
go and
YouTube.
check out Urban X and
Watch that
subscribe to
latest
them.
interview that brother Oba did with Black Dot. And you know, he said when you go in a Roman Catholic church, you know what I'm saying, when you go in any white church, Jesus got a sword in his hand, right? He's not on the cross, he's not bleeding, he has a bleeding heart, right? He got a sword in his hand and he's ready for war. So why is it that Christendom, as it applies to Caucasians, always identify with the crusading aspect of Christianity? But when you go to black churches, all you see is the suffrage. You see Christ on the cross. You see him when he was defeated. They have images of him when he is returning in his glory, ready for war, right? Accompanied by Michael and all of that. Because you know the police, all of them got Michael underneath their hats, right? They're octagonal shaped hats. They're 44 hats. They have a picture, right, of the Archangel Michael, who deity is responsible for the protection of the police, right? He's Mars, he's military, he's Marshall, Michael, Michael, the legions. Okay. So, you know, and look, somebody says, I'm saying, I'm speaking to Christians. I'm speaking to people that are in that particular vein. I'm speaking to people that still have religion in their vein, whether you read a Quran or a Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to them. And at this particular time, when I'm asking them to analyze things from that lens, you conscious niggas, you can look at it the way that you want to look at it and tell me what you see. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, at some point, like always, we got to talk about, well, what's the solution? You're just going to be in your feelings for the next 4 years about what you see? Where the juju, voodoo doctor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where they
Where
at?
them niggas get busy at? Where they at?
Where they cook? Where's their pot?
Where they at? Because y'all keep telling me how bad you is. You feel me?
All right,
And
no accidents.
just like hip hop has uh inter intramural beef, just like the conscious community has intramural beef. The only thing that I hear coming out of the spiritual systems is intramural beef. Like them niggas will cook a pot on somebody in this community. The nigga, my picture probably my shit is on enough fucking altars for me to know, you understand, that this niggas out here that claim that they get busy. You feel me? But I don't never see motherfucking Donald Trump catching that shit. Remember Darth Vader was hitting niggas with the finger? And they was like, where that shit? Why we can't see that on national TV? You niggas juju. If your juju can't reach motherfucking reach the White House, my nigga, then you need to go and fuck with who they fucking with. Because them niggas got the force field around your shit where it's not touching them niggas. Because ain't none of them niggas falling on their face. And every last one of them have deserved fucking work, my nigga.
Yeah. It ain't even getting to the trailer park.
Yeah, it ain't even reached to the trailer park yet. So what are them niggas working with? Well, they have some level of cover. You understand? So again, I'm not proselytizing for Christianity. I'm speaking to those that even think with that perspective. Does this shit make any sense? Looking at it through that lens. Okay. And if it does, what are you preparing according to what your narrative is speaking to you about? How are you preparing to engage? You feel me? Because this is some dreadful shit that we're looking at. You know what I mean? With the news, the narrative, the newscasters are not even telling you, oh, he said that shit 2 weeks ago. Or it was alleged, right? It was alleged that he was overheard saying this in the privacy of the Oval Office, his disdain for Haitians and Africans. They repeated this shit. They just blipped the whole story up to the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same story. They just trying to see how sleep niggas is. All right. So
Because racism is such a button to press. Like, it's the way to sell things. Look at what happened with H&M. It was a lot of money made off of that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of money got exchanged. You know, I know their stocks dropped, but there's still a lot of money got made.
look,
People would
I,
start
I,
buying other white brands.
yeah, I was in Harlem every day. It was melanated people pouring out of that store every single time that I walked past it
You feel me?
in the afternoon and at night.
And at
And
night.
they was getting a fresh delivery the day that this shit popped off. The
Yeah.
18 wheeler was outside. You
Yeah.
feel me?
H&M popping in Harlem.
Yeah, they're gonna do their numbers.
They're gonna do their numbers. Don't even. Whew.
They're gonna do their numbers. So we're not gonna do 2018 where Trump is a racist is a hashtag trending topic. Like that's old news. That's 2017, nigga. You know that by now. All right. There's no fucking eureka moments attached to this narrative. You dig what I'm saying? The conversation is supposed to be, and then what? And then what?
Well,
So you automatically should start looking at the tax code. You automatically should be looking at any policy that affects melanated people because it's obvious they just took a cock out on that. So instead of right being so taken aback, oh my God, did he say that? How could he say that? You know how he said it. You know what sort of gang he's running with. Everybody on his squad feel the same way. So
facts.
what did they do behind closed doors to really put it to melanated people? Because that's where they be putting that work in. That's where they cook their pots at. Hmm?
Yeah, that's
That's
they.
where they cutting their chicken.
That's they
That's
altar.
they fucking judo. It's called voodoo economics, nigga.
Yep.
So still, nobody told you about the tax code. We ain't get no breakdown videos. You was enamored in the Tyreek shit for like 3 weeks straight. That
Yeah. Nobody gives no
nobody got
updates on
no
that.
airtime, huh? Nobody got no airtime. We still don't know what's going on with these tax codes in 2018 and 2019 and beyond. Hmm?
Nah, they
So
just waiting for the. They waiting for the gavel to drop.
we'll wait for the gavel to drop. They're waiting for them checks to come in.
Mm-hmm.
They want to start looking at them checks. Yeah. So it's an incumbent upon the Zoes and Santeria, because that's Puerto Rico. Now you got Voodoo, that's Haiti. You know what I'm saying? NO should already be on they shit. Like, you feel me? Where is it gonna come from? The family in the Congo? Like, they need to operate a level of trilateralism at this particular point because the work has been called for. You already know what it is.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You already know what it is. So
And like I said, Blue,
yeah,
teaching moment. Teaching moment. All of these stories that keep popping up. Teaching moments. The genuine story with the transgender. That's a teaching moment. Get to teaching. The situation with H&M with the monkey, RH rhesus. We should be talking about scientifically what the science point to about the origins of the monkey and man. Who are they exactly speaking of so we could stop taking things personal? Teaching moment. Situation right now with Trump and these shitholes, like you just broke down by teaching about how they became shitholes. How is it? Let me just ask this question.
no. I'm not saying it's shitholes. I'm saying that
Oh no, how they would that
let's speak about the disenfranchisement of these particular places
these
where
landmasses.
colonizer or a visitor from a quote unquote first world country can come there and have the nerve to speak on it like that. You feel me?
Facts.
Because they're only taught to see what it is that they see or hear what it is that they hear or run with whatever they're running with. But nobody told them that their great grandparents' wealth was built on the rate of the mineral resources of that particular land.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's hypocrisy to the highest order.
So it is a teaching moment, and I appreciate the clips that I'm seeing from the talking heads in the media and what they're doing, the you know, because they have a certain limit to where they can go and what they can say. So they're allowing certain people to push it to the limit and, you know, basically go in and raise questions about how did these places become barren land? How did these places become impoverished?
They doing that?
Yeah, I've heard some conversations from the talking heads.
Okay.
But like I said, for those of us that are in the community, ultimately, our titles are teachers. We're known for our teaching. Our one of the duties that we serve the people with is teaching. And I'm not just talking about me and you. Apparently, last time I checked, when shit's sweet, it's a whole bunch of teachers. Everybody's a teacher. But when it's time to put in the work, you
Yeah.
you
When
know
when the teacher moments pop up,
when the teacher moments pop up like a pop-up quiz, there's only a few people sitting at the table actually taking the test, an open test that is. This is like Regents where everybody gets to see your score, because if you put information out there that's incorrect, you're gonna fail the test, because it's gonna immediately, the universe is gonna say, yo, that shit is not real, that shit is not even correct, and it's gonna come out with a story that's contradictory to your information or your answers or your teaching moment. And I'm not seeing people take advantage of any of these teaching moments, family.
so I mean the narrative, family, the narrative and the ideology of white supremacy is, well, there's two narratives, right? The shithole narrative, right? The uneducated European, look, they were in Africa swinging from trees with monkeys, okay? And we came and we rescued them from the shithole and we gave them something that they can't pay us back for.
Facts.
All right, which is civilization and Christianity. They
Facts.
are indebted to us. What they did for us by way of slavery, that's not even fair compensation. This is how they think, family. This is the approach that they take when they're dealing with you. So somebody that says Africa is a shithole is looking at all Africans as pieces of shit. It's just that simple. And all of his activities show you that. Look, I'm from the 80s, my niggas. Okay? New York City, 80s. I remember Donald Trump's full paid ad on the Central Park Five. So none
Facts.
of this is new to me. I grew up in the era with Edward Koch, Bernard Guest, Donald Trump, all right,
Rudolph
and John
Giuliani.
fucking Gotti, all right,
And then Rudolph Giuliani.
and then Rudolph Giuliani. None of them like melanated people, especially Gotti, all right, because he was a Northern Italian and they hated Sicilians because they had Moorish blood. And he made that shit clear. I don't fuck with them niggas, okay? So all of the glamorization that took place with Donald Trump, John Gotti, right? Even niggas was glamorizing Bernard Getz at some point. And if you don't know who none of these people are, family, you need to do some research. Edward Koch, okay, and Rudy G. So that was their, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, that was
these
some horsemen.
these was the hardliners. These they gave melanated people the business in the
Facts.
80s, right? Through policy. You know, not Bernard Guest. Bernard Guest did it through symbolism and imagery. Right? It was a scrawny white dude that he put some work in on some young brothers who was trying to rob him on the train. I think he hit him with that snub nose, lit him up, you know. But I'm saying anybody that comes from New York from that era, you know who Trump is. This is no surprise. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He's
no
always a piece
surprise.
of shit. He's always been a racist piece of shit. Um, I'm taking it back. I am a little bit thrown about how, you know, because you be thinking that the ones that's up there a little bit more diabolical with their mentality, but he's a simpleton. His shit is just he's a basic idiot. He ain't a brilliant idiot. He's a basic idiot.
He a savage.
Yeah, he's a savage. You know what I'm saying? He has no couth. His shit is just, you know what I mean? He
So have fun with the information, family out there. You are the disseminators. You disseminate the quote unquote red pill to your family and your friends. And these teacher moments are layups. They help you with your argument. They help your ass get off of the couch, you know what I mean, and back into the bedroom. You know, they help you with changing the perception of some people with calcified pineal glands whose third eye is not awakened like yours. They never unplugged from the proverbial matrix and get flushed down the tube like Neo did and wake up with all of the what did he have on him?
placebo.
Placebo. You know what I'm saying? They didn't unplug from the matrix. They still got all those plugs in their back, like you saw in the movie. So when you speak to them, you sound like Charlie Brown. But fortunately, the white man is beginning to tell on himself. I ain't just saying the white man, but I'm talking about the system. If you didn't use Hollywood's Harvey Weinstein Me Too stuff as a talking point, you know, then you're missing the picture. You're just dealing with reactionary, and there's no news in being reactionary. There's only programming and reactionariness. You're not learning anything. You're being put deeper into a social engineering psyop. They're just priming you for more of the spell, so they could put you into fear. They could put you into a further place of the sunken place. They could put you into a place where you'll be ready to compromise because you just can't take it anymore. You know, this is on the eve of Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh yeah, I
You
just seen a
can't cook
picture.
with that. That's not ingredients for y'all. Like,
I ain't see the full narrative, but what he had his son up in there.
yeah, he signed a bill that made Martin Luther King a federal holiday.
It was a federal holiday already.
I my thing is this.
I thought the last bastion was Arizona. Did Public Enemy make a song about that?
I know I thought they was the last holdout too, but apparently that's not the case. So I mean, it's just crazy. So now that we know Trump is racist and everybody gets it, now what? You know what I mean? They keep showing it to you. They keep giving you the narrative. They're normalizing his insanity. They're normalizing white fragility. They're normalizing a rhetoric where, because remember that shithole statement, it's been programmed into the lexicon in one day. So many talking heads have said shithole, shithole, shithole. It's on front pages. Everybody is talking about it. That's the new narrative. That's the new lexicon.
So now it's going to be an argument that props up. You're going to have divergent conversations on both sides. It's going to be the pro. No, this is a shithole. These people come from a shithole, right? So you're going to get hit with all of that shit coming by way of those talking points. And then you're going to have, your people over there trying to defend it, coming up with the history and saying these people are so good, and they're going to come up with percentages about how many of them contribute, to this country and don't make up the prison population, and people are going to be engaged in this, and they're going to fall into this conversation. You know what I'm saying? As if they can reverse somebody's minds that think that people that look like you and me come from a shithole. They're just telling you how they feel about you.
Let me say something. Nobody.
Time for the Black Panther, might I add.
Time for Wakanda. Nobody.
Right time for Wakanda. Like, you niggas do not.
Nobody from a country where the IMF is over there. Remember, we're talking about places that used to be paradise, meaning that you were able to pick the fruit off of the trees and actually get gold nuggets out of the water. Most of these places, mineral rich, herbs growing out of the mud and whatnot, rich. you could bump into resources. Now, after the pillaging and the plundering and the raping of these places, they're barren lands where people are eating out of the sewage in the dumpster. These people come to America knowing what colonizers do, how they sound, what they act like. They should know at this point. Some of them don't even care. I talked about this Monday when the whole H&M thing popped off. I didn't know that I didn't know that the mother, well, I knew that the mother was cool with it. I said it before everybody found out that she was cool with it. Because I shared with the family that there's an attitude that people who are not native to America seem to have when it comes to the exploitation of our people, the exploitation of the culture, the exploitation of labor, kind of exploitation of their ignorance and all kind of other things. The wittiness of the European to be a little more ahead of a lot of our brothers and sisters who don't know that they're being played when they're being played. It's almost like to point out who this European is to continental Africans is almost impossible because they'll refuse to admit that they see what we see. And then they be like, my brother, I don't think you understand. I don't care about the white man. And I'm like, if you don't care about him, then what are you really saying? Like, what do you really care about? You have to explain that to me. Are you only here to pillage this land? Are you only here to reverse what they've done to your land? And are you only coming to America or the UK and other places to pillage that land? Because what they've done is they took raw resources from your land and now they created products. And then you come into their land to basically work and labor for their products that's really yours.
They're selling them back product from their land that they were able to develop based on the minerals that they got from their land. It's called capitalism.
That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. So it's like
capitalism, bro.
It's like the conversation about the power that we would have collectively on the eve of this Wakanda thing, on the eve where, you know, Black Panther is the highest pre-sale of any Marvel movie, where there's going to be a complete flood of consciousness because the majority of Black people are going to be introduced into a new genre called Afrofuturism. It's bigger than the Panther movie. It's about seeing yourselves in the future in a place of power and in a place of royalty. We're not talking about seeing us in Egypt in the past. We're actually talking about something different. We're seeing our people in an alternative reality in the future. That hasn't been done in a very long time. So when we think about the collective numbers that we have in we're places that are labeled as shitholes, which is really rhetoric in the Crusader in the time of this, like I talked about, the medieval revival. There's a medieval revival taking place. They are creating a Christendom. They're linking up powers of Christendom powers all around Europe and America, Israel and other places. With Jerusalem being the capital, that is a medieval revival. With this whole golden age of the Moors, with the brooch and all of that, medieval revival, slavery in Libya, the flat earthers, all of this stuff, medieval revival. And what came in the medieval? The Me Too movement is the Inquisition. That's heresy, heretics, and people being burnt at the stake, and people saying he did something to me, and you don't have any defense, but I didn't do it. That's
You're coming with the flame.
They're coming with the flames. You was getting burnt right at the stake. They was taking your property. You had to step down from positions of power. So this is what we're seeing. Time is centrifugal. It goes in cycles, not straightforward. It doesn't go straight. It goes in loops. So we're looping back to a day and time where we have the opportunity to bring our brothers and sisters together under one umbrella collectively around the world from these same places that they're calling shitholes. We have to use this as a teacher moment and convince our brothers and sisters that come from the continent of Africa who are not necessarily interested in joining their brothers and sisters in America and what is known as a liberation movement. You can identify that you got melanin. You could rock an afro and a kente cloth and all of that woke shit. That's cute. That's cute. But we're talking about going beyond cute. We're talking about going beyond aesthetics. We're talking about tapping into a real power, activating that African spirituality, the warriors that come from them, the mathematicians, the scientists, the geniuses. We go online and we see that they're in Africa doing all kind of technological feats.
The babies.
The little ones.
Clear.
Let's be very clear about what they're doing on the continent.
All right. They're diving in the shithole, as he says.
Dumpsters.
They're dumpster diving, and they're coming out with miraculous creations. You know what I'm saying? Our babies do that. I don't see too many other babies around the planet doing that. They're not doing this in a garage. They're doing it in the shack. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we're not making enough of their stories prominent headline features, trending topics, front page articles. It's not going viral like the little boy with the monkey shirt on. We're not putting it in the face of the populace. We got to convince ourselves first, because we're dealing with our own self-hate. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I think when the conversation first popped off with Trump 2 weeks ago, he said that the Haitians had AIDS. That was they all had AIDS. That's from the 80s. They taking this shit to New York City. That's a nigga conversation in the 80s. All right.
Trump,
when I
Trump heard this shit in the 80s.
That was the prevailing narrative in the 80s that we fought against.
Yeah, the black people, black Americans pushed that.
Social circle. Because the black Americans was shitting on all Africans and all Haitians. And we was from Flatbush. We got with the Haitians and the Africans, and we made sure that they got the respect that they deserve. And then came Wyclef, and he finished it up. You understand? So I remember fighting for that. You know what I'm saying? I remember having to fight fellow quote unquote black Americans, these Moors that are indigenous to Mexim, to this continent here, putting the whips on them because they was trying to violate my bedrooms just because they was Haitians, and they was the ones that decided to not pretend that they was Jamaicans. You feel me? Yeah, when they was saying they had HBO.
Haitian body odor. You know? So we was hard on our own.
It's so disrespectful in my life. And it's like, yo, all the Haitians got HIV. And then the Africans, like, that was narratives that were being fed to us by way of mainstream media. And our children, our peers and what have you, they ran with it, you know what I'm saying? And they were doing things that were they were separatists at that particular point. You know what I'm saying? They were black separatists. And they like, yo, y'all niggas over there and we over here, and don't ever come over where we at. You did.
Yep. Can you see blue? Can y'all see blue on the screen? Family, let me know if you can see. Hold on.
Is propaganda, then we could push against it. But
all right, give me a minute. He's frozen.
if it's not something that bothers us or that we feel is, you know, if we feel that that shit has a level of merit to it because you still running off of that program, then we got a lot of growing up ourselves. You know what I mean? And these people is just catching us with our pants down over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, somebody's gonna get bent over, and it's gonna look real fucking ugly.
Real ugly.
Real ugly. So tired of the reactionary shit. Like, when are we gonna do something that fucking becomes trending? I'm just saying, as a people, like, when are we gonna do something that catches them off guard where they're fucking reactionary, and it not be on a no goddamn award show? Like, come on. So let's collectively, if we could get past this conversation and not fall for these Trump distractions, you know, what else is going on with us as a people? Because they always love talking about distractions. All right, well, if this shit ain't happen, what would we be talking about? What else is going on out here? Huh? I'm talking to you.
I mean,
All they
well,
talking about Black Panther?
say it again.
I said, all they talking about is Black Panther?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are talking about that. They was talking about the boycott for Black Panther, but they was trying to shut it down because somebody who's on the cast is dating a pink toe. I think Michael Jordan, not the nigga with the Gatorade sneakers. We're talking about the actor Michael Jordan. He's actually the enemy. He's the bad guy in the movie, and he got a pink toe. And they talking about boycotting Black Panther. Are y'all gonna boycott Wimbledon? Are y'all gonna boycott the French Open? Because Serena is running around with a biracial child. She went the furthest. She ain't even date. You know what I mean? She went past dating. She
Oh
went
yeah,
and got married to homie.
her sister's about to come out with her relationship.
Oh yeah, she got one too.
Got one too. Yeah.
Yeah, they just dragging their dad all through the mud, all through the melanated mud.
On another note, because I think we missed a day. Uh, Rise in Power, you know, of all days, mind you, they did it on. This conversation broke out on the most melanated man that I know of, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. All right, may he sleep in peace, rest in peace, rise in power, all that good stuff. All right, definitely a soldier who needs to be elevated and celebrated every chance that we get. His born day was yesterday, so
Happy
we want
belated, Dr. Khaled.
to make that notation. And yeah, so they talking about boycotting Black Panther because the brother got pink toe.
Yeah, that's what
They
they
were
had.
saying
They
he
tried
was
that
a Mo a
campaign.
minute ago, so now you got a pink. Well, that's like a natural progression from what I hear, but
He was what? He was with who?
he said he was a Mo.
Oh, they were saying he was a Momo.
Yeah.
Damn. Did you see this shit with my guy Seal? When Seal was talking about the controversy, he was answering his critics because he put up the picture with Oprah kissing Harvey Weinstein and Donald Trump like
I
100
knew
times.
about the. I knew he clapped back at Oprah. I knew that he was clapping at Stacey Dash. I seen some
Clapped her down.
videos. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't look at them though. Is there anything?
He told us she lives in a sunken place. He's basically saying that everybody in Hollywood knew. Stop the hypocrisy. He's not hating on your God Queen Oprah, your madam. He's basically saying, look, I ain't with the fuckery. I'm not with the people lying. You was running it. You was gang, Oprah.
Gang.
Not only gang with Harvey Weinstein, you gang with Trump and them. You ain't had nothing to say to Donald Trump for a whole year with all of the fuckery that he been doing. You're not even a critic of his. You kissing, you thotting with him in the pictures more than anybody I've ever seen. I've never seen white women hugging Donald Trump and kissing him so much than Big Mama Oprah,
Mama
the
Winfrey.
Hollywood's mammy. I'm talking about with Harvey Weinstein. Like, if you see Harvey Weinstein face, how could you even kiss him? You're Oprah. You're supposed to be on top of intelligentsia. You got all the tea on everybody. You Arizona. You supposed to know everybody's tea. So you mean to tell me that you didn't know Harvey
Yeah.
Weinstein was a serial rapist?
Simply family. All right, let's just be very clear right here. Harvey Weinstein and Oprah Winfrey, right, are the biggest them, right? Not only donors, but also fundraisers. So anytime somebody needs a bag and they got to go to Hollywood, you have to go through them. They're part of the machine, right? There's no way that anybody can get presidential clearance to have the president of the United States or a candidate around these people if the intelligentsia community does not know who these people are, what's going on, which shows me that everyone is complicit, all the way down to the podestas with Hillary. They spirit cookers, goddamn it. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. This is just skimming the surface to deflect attention. They talking about him raping women and shit. Like, no, the niggas eating people, man.
Facts.
You hear that? Because Obama's daughter, hold on, was working for Weinstein. You think they didn't get the clearance? You think that nobody pulled his coat and be like, yo, son, I don't know about that. You might not want to send your daughter around Harvey Weinstein. She was a fucking intern.
She was an intern.
Like, who's everybody needs to be fucking backsmacked if that's the case. Because the whole situation is slipping where you got an entire intelligence agency and no one is telling you the biggest fucking secret in Hollywood.
The biggest open secret.
The biggest open secret that this nigga's a rabid fucking racist. No, it's culture. It's culture. It's American culture at that, and it's politics. And it doesn't skim the surface to what they really do in fucking Hollywood.
No, it's not only culture, Blue. That is the rites of passage. That's what Seal is talking about. That's what other people who are like, yo, y'all be out, y'all be run. That's what David Chappelle talked about.
That's the front door. That ain't the back door. That ain't upstairs on the 3rd or the 4th floor. That's just the foyer.
That's just when you get in the lobby, you got to have sloppy toppy with Harvey. Everybody knows it. It's called rites of passage. Rites of passage is called the casting couch. Any industry that you get with, any gang that you get with, you mean to tell me that you're going to become a blood and you didn't know about the initiation? Nobody hipped you to the beatdown line? You didn't do your Google research on what it takes to be gang, and niggas form a circle around you like, oh shit, I didn't know. I thought we was gonna play cards to be a blood. So to get to Hollywood and
I thought I had to have a mean spade game. I got books. A book, bitch.
So you mean to tell me these actresses actually don't know? These young models actually don't know if you're gonna go have coffee with Russell Simmons 3 a.m. that you're not gonna have to give them sloppy toppy? Are you?
And all these women do is dish tea.
That's all they do is dish tea and talk about
dish tea.
Everybody's wood size and who got the bread and who's a trick and who's a simp. That's all they talk about in the restroom. So you mean to tell me that all of goddamn Hollywood was left in the dark about Harvey friggin' Weinstein and his other 100 co-conspirators? Miss me with the bull. It's another act of Hollywood. This is a production that you're seeing taking place. So miss me with some Oprah stuff. I don't want to hear about that.
Facts.
Everybody's caught up.
This is Democrat desperation. All right, this is Democrat
cult of personality worship. This is the cult of personality worship, and what they're doing is they're normalizing sexual assault. And what they're doing is they're normalizing rape. And what they're doing is they're normalizing the unconventional, uncouth behavior of white men and men with money who utilize the abuse of power through sexual depravity. All of y'all who lined up to watch 50 Shades of Grey, shame on you, Astaghfirullah. Y'all bought into all of that. Y'all want to see rich white men face fuck and do all kind of nasty shit, dominatrix, defecating, because when they say Harvey Weinstein is a beast, they're not saying that he was having missionary with all of these goddamn actresses. They're saying that he's a beast because he was doing bestiality with these women. He was taking it there. He wasn't doing no regular sex. These women are talking about, oh my goodness, he's disgusting. They went down for the initiation, but the initiation was a rat pack. The initiation was some depravity, dark shit, the shit Biggie talked about when the girl asked him to defecate on them. All of the women out there who are in the sex industry who identify as workers or sex workers, you know how white rich men get down when the goddamn hotel door is closed. Yeah, I've heard enough stories. So it ain't no regular. They're into alien sex. Shit that they showed on Bright. Y'all probably seeing these lizards transform in front of y'all, but because you agreed to not tell anybody and only get the bag because they've lessened your morals and your values as a people, you are going to be normalized to be a part of civilization when they cut your snap, when they cut the EBT, when they pull the tax code on you to line up in rows and suck old white men off for a loaf of bread. That's what they're normalizing right now. You know what I'm saying? Getting on your knees. This is a whole culture. This is a Cardi B culture. This is a pro prostitute thought culture. They're only seeding it. Facts.
Look, I got the article up right here, right? Pornhub, women watch more porn in 2017.
Yes.
All right.
And women
So
watch more gay porn, gay men porn, than actually men do. Okay? So when you see the thing go down with Genuine, you don't have to look far when black women started attacking him saying, yo, you supposed to let homie dominate you. You supposed to let the tranny play you because that's what they like to see. The same way that we did a video and a sister said, I watch gay porn because I want to see the black man get dominated. She enjoys watching that. Okay? She gets off on that. She said that black men were abusive towards her, so she gets off on watching them get abused and dominated by both white and black men, demasculated. That's why they gang with these people who are basically molesting other men. And like I said before, why haven't nobody from the LBGT community in Hollywood ever outed anybody? Why? Where's their Me Too story? Where's their secret spilling of the tea? They never say anything. They just part of blackmails where if they leaning on a nigga saying, give me 500,000, I'm gonna blow you up. They're just spilling tea in that aspect, but they're never revealing anything.
they ain't talking about their abusers. They ain't pointing nobody out.
Never. I've never ever heard that. Please let me know if I'm missing.
Nobody broke ranks and came and showed you no camera footage of none of them goddamn parties.
And they in all the parties, they do everybody's hair, they do niggas' eyebrows, they doing everybody's makeup, they know all of the dirt, but they've never ever spilled anything on any black woman getting raped or any black woman getting trains ran on her or any black or any woman, since there's so much for the women, or any woman getting done dirty in Hollywood. They never came out about that. They never came out about any little boy in Hollywood that got pedophilia raped by one of their boyfriends. They never talked about that. Okay? They never talked about that. Who did they only shoot at? The heterosexual black men. Am I missing something here? You know what I'm saying? So they want to be they exist to they're the new boule. They only exist to be accepted by the system. They are not anti-system. They are not anti-establishment. They are not anti-Roman. They are not anti-being in the motherfucking house. They all want to sit at the table or under the table. Those are the henchmen of these vampires.
Right. I wrote a song about it.
You want to hear it?
You know, the boule is all the king's men. You know what I'm saying? So the boula is all of the king's women. And then you gotta have something else for the fucking trannies because they in between. And
They the eunuch.
Hold on, yeah, we're not tranny hating. That has to be abundantly clear. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I think that everybody's part and parcel to the social dynamic. You feel me? And anytime that we see preferential treatment in society, especially during a time when there's seemingly a witch hunt on any and everything else, you know what I mean? But one segment appears to be favored and they're getting a push and they're saying, oh, it's by time because we've always been at the bottom, you know, but on some not really understanding the larger agenda. And people love criticizing us when we come up and talk about people and agendas. Like, what would they be doing with an agenda? You know, um, I think Valentine laid it out well when he was talking about transhumanism. You feel me? But
Mm-hmm.
even excluding all of that, as I said, we did an interview with Sadnetta, and I just asked, like, if someone is posing as somebody else, right? If a man is dressed up as a woman and they are attempting to contract with you, right? Because that's what a relationship is, right? They're duping you into a contract. They're not showing you none of the fine print. You're being duped into a contract for which, you know, whether you're under uh, you know what I'm saying? What do they call it when you drink? That you're under the influence, or
Of
you're
course.
not. Yeah, you're not in your right mind. As Dave Chappelle said, you might be in a dark club. You know what I mean? Or you just might be. You just probably don't. Their surgery might just be that good, and you find yourself in a compromising situation where you've been had. You know what I mean? Like, where's the conversation that protects that person's humanity, morality, dignity, manhood, all of the things that go, you know, all of the things that go along with what will be getting assaulted. You know what I'm saying? Because what is the charge? Like, is there a charge for that? Can you bring this person up on charges? Even if you do, can you get that level of dignity back?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes beyond just being catfished.
Yeah, it's
You know what
big.
I'm saying?
It's bigger than a catfish. This
It's
shit,
bigger than catfish.
shit like salmon. It's like a salmon burger,
It's like sharkfish to some shit like that. So
like shark tail.
like these are the things that are taking place. Dupe, you know, people are being duped. You know what I'm saying? People are operating in a duplicit nature. You feel me?
Yes.
There's a lot of shadowing that's taking place, and that can put somebody in a very detrimental place. The person that is being done to, now they might be subjected to contemplating suicide because they're just mentally off. They can't live with themselves. And this person just came from not being able to live with themselves because they feel that they have another gender trapped inside of them. So they have to go through changes and change themselves. But
What
then
I'm
they're
asking
doing,
you is
yeah,
this:
they're utilizing that change continuously, almost like vampires, to bite other people and vampire them in.
Vampire the Man. Question: if a person has a preference, right,
Hmm.
and that preference is changed by way of deception, meaning that if a man had a preference for a woman only, he made that conscious decision to say, "Look, I'm only gonna play in the yoni, right? I'm not gonna do anything else, but I'm gonna exist within the two that what heaven's gates." And then he gets tricked and duped to engage in anything else. Is that not the ultimate violation? Is that not a hate crime? Is that not means to basically defend yourself? Or to seek, what kind of remedy can you seek in the court of law or in people's court or in any kind of other court to get what is lost?
You can't. All the crying on your mama's shoulder is not going to heal that wound. You've been violated to a degree where men will question whether they're men anymore. You know what I'm saying? So what is the protection in society against that? You know what I mean? Where's the conversation around that? And again, this is not being negative. This is not being anti. This is not hating. It's just utilizing a moment in time as a learning lesson and a conversational tool to say, you know, is these conversations taking place? Only because I'm observing from the outside and I can see where this is going. I can see where it's going. You feel me? It's a narrative that's off the rails. It's already, it's money train. The shit is already heading. You know, ain't no brakes on that train right now.
He left the station.
It left the station.
He left the station.
You know what I'm saying? So we 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 just have to be very mindful of what it is that we're looking at, because ironically enough, what do they say is the thing that gets entertainers, that they get the file, the dossier, or the entertainers to put them in check and put them in place?
Yeah,
especially
the
with the
black.
rapping. The saying, the going narrative is that they get caught in entrapment by being duped into a relationship, unknowing relationship with a transvestite. And then once they have the tape on you, once they have the file, then you got to play ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it gets real filthy. You know what I mean? And you have to do these people's biddings unless they'll leak this information. So if they feel that they could destroy a person's reputation playing that card or that angle or that hand, that's why this conversation might be so explosive to people in the music industry. That's like, damn, son, you should have just kissed them.
That's how they get down.
Apparently, yeah, everybody's already on the other side of that fence. And they're looking at him like, well, damn, ain't you an entertainer? How did you get in the club? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You in the room, what color wristband he got on? What the fuck is going on? Who's his handler? Then he come in with such and such in them? Them niggas is accounted for. How did he get away with the baby hair?
Yeah. So, you know, once again, that's a teacher moment. You know, there's a lot of information in that story that should be explored. And more than anything, the children, the young ones, the innocent ones, they need to be cloaked with truth. They need to be protected by a narrative. They need to know from a basic point of view that that is not what's up at all. You shouldn't. There shouldn't even be like there shouldn't even be a contemplation part. You know, you shouldn't even participate in contemplating yes or no. Like there shouldn't be no two genies on your shoulders on that one, my nigga. It's just one motherfucker on your shoulders telling you, nigga, you don't get. You know what I'm saying? It's fight or flight now. Like people are gonna be left with an ill choice, and for those that are weak-minded, unfortunately, they're gonna fall under the pressure of social engineering to demasculate them even further because they could look around and see many others who failed the earlier tests. Because keep in mind, Blue, this is just one test in many different tests to test what? The overall manhood of a population of men. They was getting niggas a long time ago with other minute details. First came a dress, then the whole thing with Chingy and all of them was getting caught out there with the trannies. Now I'm talking about. Then the porn, then the porn started inserting them inside of the porn. Then the strip clubs, they was running into them in the strip clubs. Then the whole core, the club culture when it turned into the strip club culture got mixed in with each other. Dudes was completely getting washed there. Then when the prostitute culture started popping off, dudes was paying for it. So you're seeing it infiltrate all kind of sectors of our community, and we're really beginning just to see the wash. We're seeing how that shit plays out afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like what's growing out of that toxic soil of a lot of men either tapping into a sexual depravity that they possess, getting duped, getting molested and abused and raped and you know and taken advantage of by other people, abuse, sexual abuse, you know, abuse of power, and like it's crazy. It's crazy. But we will not allow that to be normalized in our community. We will not allow this social engineering and quote unquote pressure from the other side to you know what I mean, to sway your opinion of what you know is natural. It's a dangerous world that we living in these days, bro. This shit crazy, crazy. And this came on the heels of an empowerment campaign that Barack Obama was primarily responsible for. You know, and you know, it is what it is.
Trump ain't coming there talking about reversing that policy. I ain't hear one conversation pertaining to that, right? And that's somewhat outside of the health, Obamacare. That's his most
recognizable.
long-standing,
Yeah,
revolutionary political platform. You know, the legislation that he promoted, which was multi-pronged. It wasn't just legalizing gay marriage, you know what I'm saying, across the board. He did a few things to put them in position, you know what I mean? Um, so, you know, Trump has never spoke on reversing any of that policy, even though he's been so adamant about erasing the legacy of Obama. He's never touched that or spoken on it.
never.
You know what I mean? So, you know, and that again, that would be going against his benefactor because his backer is Peter Thiel.
Yeah, the one of the founders of PayPal, who's a gay billionaire, very influential in Silicon Valley and the Trump administration because he was one of his most consistent major backers. You know, so it is what it is. You know, like I said, just take these pairs of glasses, family, this perspective, and look at it. Look, re-examine the story, re-examine the narrative, re-examine the spin, and you'll be able to see it in a whole different way. Take advantage. You know, your vantage point has. If you take
Yeah.
this information and you're able to, what'd you say?
I said, yeah, they got to change their POV.
Got to change your POV. You know what I mean? And you'll begin to see it for what it is.
Yeah, good talk.
You know, so that's that.
Oh, yeah, we'll take a few questions from the chat, family. If you want to type some questions in, you know what I'm saying? We do what we can. If we have answers for you, you know. Anything else good? Anything on Netflix you want to recommend?
Yeah, I basically maxed out on Black Mirror.
You did? You seen season 3?
Yeah, seen all the seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, Stranger Things 1 and 2. You know, all of that. Oh,
I ain't get all the way there yet. I'm mad late. You know what I'm saying?
somebody want to know when the next retreat?
Retreat is coming. We working on some dates, family. Please be a little patient. I got to do the Rock and Mineral show in Arizona first.
Yeah,
That's the end of January, February. You know, we still are looking for investors for that particular venture. Or if you want to send me out there with some money, you have any interest in obtaining a large quantity of rocks and minerals yourself, you might be a jeweler or designer. You want to put in, let us know. You know what I'm saying?
let's talk about the Nipsey Hussle story, and let's add that story into the conversation or the narrative that we're having tonight. We were supposed to touch on that the other night, so let's just get into it real quick. Give them the history of Nipsey Hussle that they don't know about.
Um,
I'll be right back. Go ahead.
I met Nipsey Hussle in 2008. I was brought in to work with him by his the gentleman was the label head of his label at that time, Johnny Shipes, who had Cinematic Music Group. They were signed to Epic. They had got the deal not too long before that, and uh, they wanted to focus on digital media, which was very new in the industry. The music industry had no idea how to tackle the internet, how to tackle digital media. You know, these platforms in their early inception. We had already been successful in that avenue. I had a YouTube channel that had already had millions of views on. Okay, I started my YouTube channel January 1st, 2007. So I was already in the millions by '08. So they brought us in, and then they brought us into Epic. I ended up getting an executive position at Epic, uh, working on this particular project. You know, working at Epic period, but our first project was Nipsey. So, you know, we were allowed access to the Rolling 60s by Big U and a few other people on that side, which was the first time ever that somebody came out there with a camera and documented that lifestyle. They never allowed it in their hood, but they allowed it for Nip. So my partner Majesty went out there and we shot a documentary for Nipsey. And the first part of it, it was called Turned Up. This was the first time that terminology was used in public. All right. And we used it for his documentary. They was utilizing that jargon. Just like Ratchet, the first time that we heard the terminology Ratchet being used was when Red was working with Hurricane Chris, when he was with Polo Ground Records and Baby 3 and Hurricane and the rest of the family out of Shreveport, right? That was their terminology. Ratchet.
Ratchet, yeah.
You know what I mean? So Nipsey's and then their terminology was turnt. So we did a documentary called Turned Up. In the first episode, we put it on World Star. We did 1 million views in 24 hours. Okay. We did that 3 times in a row with all 3 parts of the documentary. We clocked 1 million views on World Star. So I haven't even clipped my old self. I'm not, I don't be too impressed with niggas be doing because I did a lot of shit. So yeah, the Nipsey shit took off. You know what I mean? We learned at a very early phase that Nipsey had a rabid online following. He had a global audience. You know what I'm saying? He was an internet phenom. You know what I mean? We were really even utilizing him, learning a lot about internet audiences. And I was learning about analytics and metrics and just all of the fancy stuff that people be talking about today. He was kind of like our test subject. But when I met Nipsey, he was militant already. You know what I mean? He was militant, and then after a while, he started telling me that his OGs used to watch our tapes. He's like, yo, my OGs got tapes of y'all and people from, you know what I'm saying, from the conscious community. So these are like the triple, quadruple OGs that, you know what I mean?
You and them.
You know, yeah, beyond them, the ones that live in the hills that you don't even really see them. They just come down once in a while just to make observations and snap fingers and shit like that and make things happen. But the big homies, you know what I mean? They was on the information. You know what I'm saying? He's been on the information for a minute. We've had many building sessions. You know what I mean? His iconography that he always chooses to be presented in is his Malcolm X chain. You know, he could have went and got any. They was or the label was always trying to buy jewels from him for him, and he refused. You know what I mean? So he was on it. He was always on it. He was always on his business. He was always ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? He was deeply invested into his African roots. He had took me to the Eritrean independence festivities in DC. We had celebrated that entire weekend. I think it was like Memorial. It was a major weekend where I normally would be doing something else. You know what I'm saying? And I did that with him. And he was always just trying to introduce me to certain aspects of his history, you know, of his country, you know, always into his people and us. You know what I'm saying? He was the bridge because he was the homie. So he from the block. He gang for real. He neighborhood. You know what I mean? But he always walked with that. You know what I mean? He never lost sight that I'm an African first. You dig what I'm saying? So I've always had the utmost respect for him. You could already understand his business, you know, once he left Epic, you know what I mean? And he got into his independent grind, you know what I'm saying? He has charted many uncharted waters. He sets many trends. So when a brother made the comment the other day, it was through a um a very observatory educated lens, you know, somebody who reads, somebody who studies, somebody that's in the world and sees what's going on, somebody who has their heads on their shoulders, somebody that's in the industry, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I didn't foresee the uproar because I saw it when it first got put up. You know, he shared it to IG and I read the caption and I was like, okay. You know what I mean? And then I started already seeing some comments where he had to defend his position. And I'm like, I hope he don't get into this all day. You know what I mean? Because what he said wasn't even that far fetched. It was a picture of a good number of melanated men with children, right? Young boys. And I'm guessing because Big U was in the picture, they had to have been like pee-wee leagues.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call them? What's the appropriate name for that?
YGs.
No, they wasn't watching.
Mm-hmm.
The little football
Little
leagues.
league, Pee Wees. Yeah, the Pee Wee League.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm imagining, because they was all suited and booted. You know what I'm saying? They was dressed to kill. So it must have been an awards ceremony or situation. And Big U has been doing a lot in the community. Every time that I go back to LA, I hear something about Big U. And I was supposed to do an interview with him the last time that I went out there. I didn't follow through and then it happened. But I definitely want to get, these individuals, these are dinosaurs, you know what I mean, in the game, street game, and quietly major move makers in the industry. You know what I'm saying? But that brother, he puts on. He gives back to the community. He does things for the children. They just not out there, you know what I'm saying, making all the little ones YGs and everything. They're working the best way that they can to allow these children to have different options and different opportunities. And they're mining the diamonds in the rough and they're polishing them off. And I'm gonna send this person to the league. I'm gonna send this. Like the OGs used to do back in the day. You identify talent in the community and you nurture that. You
Facts.
put, yeah, Pop Warner's what I meant. You put a little bread behind them. You put inspiration. You be the father that's not there. You do these things. So he just made a comment, with his picture that this is a wonderful example. This was the same day that the H&M scandal broke, where he was like, this is a wonderful example of black masculinity. These young men are not effeminized, and you know what I mean? Like the homies is on deck. You know what I'm saying? They're on the scene taking care of these young men. And, got into a shitstorm. You know what I mean?
Because he said specifically, no homos are in the picture in this group of men. So the D-Ray dude, the blue vest from Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
he decided that he wanted to comment
You want to
on that
smoke? Yeah.
statement as if him identifying as a homosexual, you know, is is
He's a
good.
gay crusader. Yeah, he's
Yeah, like so Nipsey had to quote Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, which is their kryptonite, and a few other scholars, and stand on his square and said, "Look, I said what I said, and I'm saying it for a reason. I'm not talking about nobody specifically. I'm speaking against that agenda that y'all belong to." So I'm like, this shit is gonna be confusing for life if we keep saying, "Yo, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the agenda." But nigga, they ain't part of the agenda.
yeah. But I spoke on this, you know what I'm saying? I spoke on this about 2 episodes ago. And that's the very weird, murky place that you get into when you're speaking about something that's systemic, right? That already has a conglomeration of adherents to it that you might identify as victims of the system, right? And then these people are taking what would normally be perceived as a victimhood and they're making it their rallying cry for victory. You
Mhm.
understand? And that's what we demand of all people, to find something about what you're going through that you can stand up tall in and not, be on your knees, not be a victim, right? But rise into your glory. So they're in their glory days,
Mhm.
right? They're going to ride for the institution, right? Nobody is talking about, yo, we want to put money into seeing if this is really, scientifically researched to see if this is being done to us by aspartame or aspirin or
Yeah,
this chemical or that chemical. You
nobody
feel
talking
me?
about that part.
Yeah, they saying, look, nigga, I was born this way and I'm willing to ride for it, defend it, and I want to create community. The people that are different like me can be part of that community. And anybody that goes against that, they're going to be perceived as enemies, right? So they're coming into the same certification and protectorate that Jews did coming out of the Holocaust.
Facts.
You understand? where they're now it's going to be totally politically insensitive to say anything counter to. They have a political protectorate. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So it's a very it's a dangerous game for somebody to play this in entertainment, especially. You feel me? Because we know who runs entertainment. Let's be fucking clear. All right. And if anybody in the audience is up for a eureka moment, god damn it, trust and believe. Okay? That they run the entertainment industry in all of its facets. Okay? So Hollywood, music, Broadway, dance,
Yeah, fashion.
fashion, anything that you consider an artistic expression.
Yeah. So shout out to Nipsey Hussle. You know, salute
Yeah,
for being on your square and defending your stance.
I will be supporting the brother in his endeavor. Um, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. I gather that he has his talking points all the way together. He'll have opportunity on his press junket because his album's coming out in February, so they're definitely going to be asking him about it. You know, everywhere that he goes, and we'll just see how he holds up. You know what I'm saying? Because I can imagine that they're going to make it very uncomfortable for him. But he's a rider. You
Yeah,
know, he's a
yeah,
rider. And at the end of the day, like he has that level of insulation and incubation where he know that he's neighborhood, so he always got to go back to the block anyway. You feel me? And he's not gonna allow himself to get too far away from that dynamic because that's his family. And he wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, who would he be in this world without his family? So as long as his family riding with him, I know that he's gonna remain, you know what I'm saying, true to loyal to the soil.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. So my brother Jonathan asks, what's the science of our political protectorate?
Good question.
Very good question. Let's even remix it. What's the science to our spiritual protectorate?
Hmm. Not too many people could answer that. That shit is that's one of those unknown knowns.
Yes. So, yes, Tariq Jelani hit it on the head. The war is on the Black D for sure. Word to Crest. Word to Francis Crest. Yes, it is an all out war on the Black Phallus, the hetero Black Phallus. You know?
Yes. The last frontier in this war. And so
Yeah,
you got left.
they finally cornered it. And
You
that's
know what
what,
I'm saying? I mean, what else do niggas with their pants mad low got left to hold on to but their phallus? The phallus is a weapon in warfare. It's been used as a weapon to both effeminize men, to rape women, and to create new breeds and new pedigrees of man. That's what the European used as a weapon. That was second to the sword. Used the genetics of his phallus, you know what I mean, to create a new the interesting
yeah.
conversation. Now hold on. Interesting conversation that has arisen as well, being that we're dealing with shithole countries, if that's the new term that they want to use. Another conversation was in mainstream media. There was the conversation about Amara Del Negra, the Afro Latina, and then also the conversation about Cardi B with her whole name, like not just her nickname, her whole name being of Moorish origin, Balmanazar al something. So that conversation was interesting because it was beginning to show people the origin of the Spaniard. and why the Spaniard has invaded the conquistador, the friar, the missionary, all of these places that are known as shitholes now used to be paradises. They were visited by the conquistadors. They were visited by the Portuguese and the Spaniard, the British Empire, the Brutish Empire, pillaged, enslaved, toppled. You know, what's the shit? When they burn the earth,
Scorched.
scorched earth. And the Spaniard and the conquistadors phallus was used as a weapon. They weaponized their sexual organs to rape and to put people to create a race of offspring that they also raped. You know what I'm saying? Because there's the act of anal rape from men towards men, physical. That is a war crime. That is an act of war. Okay, that's how you break a man. That's how you take someone's manhood. So the warriors, the warriors who surrendered in warfare, the Crusades and other things, they were raped by the other soldiers. And even in Nazi Germany, there were stories about that. And even in Africa, there's stories about that. And even in the Americas, there's stories about that. So that's what the European was doing. Case in point. So in Europe, during the rise, the golden age of the Moors, or the golden age of the Berbers, the Moors, and other Arabic tribes, there was a lot of misogyny. There was a lot of race mixing that was taking place on the continent of the European continent and the Iberian Peninsula. The offspring were taught either Spanish, they were given Moorish Spanish attributes, or they were taught Arabic. Case in point, that people don't understand the similarities between Arabs and people of the Latin countries, mainly Dominicans and other people. The Dominican Republic is named after an order called the Dominican priests. These are friars.
Friars, right.
So the same way that DJ Khaled, who is of Palestinian descent, could stand next to Kool and Dre, who is of Latin descent, and they look like brothers, you would not know if DJ Khaled started saying, fiesta, fiesta, and start speaking un poquito Spanish, you would think that he was that. So picture in Moorish Spain or picture in Europe at a time where there were people who looked like Cardi B who were inhabitants there, but they also looked like DJ Khaled and they spoke both dialects.
Oh.
So what do you call them then? They spoke Arabic and Spanish. And now you have these islands where a lot of the inhabitants were either transported to these islands, they lived there already, this was their homelands. They picked up the ways of the Spaniard conquistador, their last names, their surnames. Cardi B's whole surname is a Moorish name. When you see Al in front of a name, alcohol, algebra, alchemical, that is of Muslim descent, right? Many people in Dominican Republic have these names that are of Muslim descent or Arabic descent. Case in point, she had to go in the Bodak Yellow video. She went where? She was in Dubai before she popped. I was at my homegirl's crib the other night looking at the Cardi B discography, her anthology, and she wasn't popping before Bodak like that. She was on the block talking about what's popping. She started her career right at the spot where we do our lectures on 125th Street with Cashflow Harlem, a video with Cashflow Harlem. She's directly in the spot where you see the Sinetta videos and where we've been hustling for 20 years.
Oh.
So when she tapped into the Orientalism aspect, when she went back home into the Dubai, that's when the magic took place. There's women in Palestine and other places in the Arabic countries that look just like Cardi B, but they're speaking Arabic. You go to the corner stores.
You pull the veil off them.
Huh?
You pull the veil off them. They got the Cardi snout.
They got the snout. Yeah, shmoney. They're talking about, yeah, I'm schmuggler regular. So if you go into the bodegas in New York City and you go into the Yemenese Arabic stores, there's a similar phenotype that all of them have. They're just speaking different dialects.
Facts. You see it in New York.
You see it in New York, family. You calling a sand nigga. You go into places in Iraq and other places where you calling them sand niggas, but these are the same. These you could find these same people in Cuba. You could find these same people in DR. You could find these same people in PR. You feel me? So that I'm just saying, it's an interesting time to just teach. It's an interesting conversation. You feel me? It's an interesting narrative. We have the ability to teach history and through utilizing the stories that are capturing the majority of our people's attention. That's why I'm pushing to create a media platform to where we could be in these. I'm talking about everyday struggle studios. I'm talking about high budget because we got to take advantage of the times that we're in and the technology that exists and the ability to fill in the gap. We don't have any more black media, new media that's dealing with these narratives.
Weave narrative.
To weave narratives. I want to be the African hair braider. I want to weave these baskets.
Weave these narratives. Because like I said, yeah, you got me on mute.
No, I don't.
I hear myself echoing.
That ain't me, bro.
Okay. But yeah, we have the ability to present this information. Unlike it's being presented to me, I can't go nowhere and find out all of this information contextualized like this. So, you know.
So we're in New York City. This is home of media. This is home of fashion. This is home of finances. This is home of film in certain aspects and entertainment. We have to begin to assess quality of membership. We have to begin to assess who are the people in our network and what keys do they have to open the doors that need to be walked through. This needs to function like Fight Club. Where's the perks of membership? We're in New York City. We're in the capital. We're in the empire state of the world. So that has to account for something. You feel what I'm saying? I know that there's family out there that have access to the studios, access to the cameras, access to the equipment, access to the producers, because that's needed as well. We have to pick up the mantle and create our own version of a CNN, our own version of a Alex Jones InfoWars. We have to basically create a balance.
And then you could create your own Hollywood.
And then you could create your own Godlywood.
Yeah, your own Hollywood, because all of that is accessible now through streaming. You don't need to go to Hollywood to get on the casting couch.
You don't have, so the way to solve, because
all of that'll be super voluntary at this point. That's like sending your daughter for a sleepover at Kelly house.
You feel? So for those who do have access, hit us on our inbox at Know the Ledge TV. Talk to us. Let's build. It doesn't even matter. You may be in a different state. Things need to happen very fast because information is in abundance. The scripts that we have available, the talent is in abundance. The stories are in abundance. We're going to be doing this for a very long time, but we have to start somewhere. So it would be almost sinister. It would almost be criminal. It would almost be arbitrary for anybody to sit back and just watch and not contribute and not play a part and not reach out and open doors. This is the Matrix. Remember the key maker who was opening up doors? You have to become that. We could get in there and do our Neo. We could get in there and do our Morpheus, but we can't go into any door that's locked. So there's work to be done. The work is being done, but it's time to level up, and there's big work to be done. We're living in we're on a global stage right now. You want the globe to see us like this? You want the globe to see the conscious community still at a certain kind of level when they're basically feeding all of Black America, Black intelligentsia, Black Boule, Black Hollywood. They're the ones feeding them. They're the ones feeding them this information, this light. They're the ones unplugging them and waking them up. They're the ones that are freeing them from the mental slavery that they've been. They're the ones that are giving them these woke talking 1 minute bars on their Instagram. So, reach out, talk to us. Let's sit down. We have some wonderful people that are already on the team. Shout out to Black Dot. Shout out to his son. We were at their studio last night. They have a great setup. They're doing wonderful things up there with Urban X. Shout out to Brother Rich with the Underground Railroad, Black Magic 363. He's doing monumental things. He has access to some monumental equipment and stuff like that. Shout out to Professor Griff and the ATL doing his thing. And there's other people that are outside of that are part of the circle. AA is doing this thing in Hollywood, in California, LA. So it's all about building at this point. You know what I mean? We're not going to be to all of the things they keep throwing at us. We're going to be a proactive people. We're going to create things that are going to ruffle their feathers, or basically ruffle their feathers to a point where it's going to force a conversation. It's going to force a hand. This shit is chess. You got to force the movement on the board. All we've been doing is sitting back waiting for them to move their pieces. Niggas ain't moving no pieces. You know what I'm saying? Don't get gas. Cipher. You niggas gonna think Black Panther is moving to pieces and that was a shot at the system and we gave it to them. Don't get gas. Get out of Comic-Con mind state. And I'm not saying it's not, because I speak about Afrofuturism and programming ourselves for the future. And one of the most effective places to take your shot and shoot your load is on that celluloid big screen. That silver screen, that would be the best place to take your shot and to shoot your load. But we have the opportunity to do 100 times more effective work than what these brothers are about to set forth when they put this movie out. It has to continue. It has to keep going. We can't lose the charge when they put out the new slave movie right after that. So that's all I'm saying. But it's a wonderful time to be here, to be doing this, to be on the front lines, to be cataloging and chronicalizing the information, to steer the narrative, to decode, to break down all of these things. You know what I mean? Shout out to KT, the arts degree, the fucking legend. So that would that's basically what I have to say. I just want everybody who is not afraid to, make investments and, just do something, just to do, not just to think and know, but to be. You know what I mean? For those of y'all that are not afraid to create, for those of y'all who have faith in your skills and your talents, step up. Let yourselves be known. You know what I mean? And make something happen. Let's not just talk about it, because that's not what we. So, shout out to beautiful Ciasia. Y'all go check her out on Facebook and sign up to her live stream. She does a lot of monumental work. Yeah, shout out to Cambada. You damn right. Them Cambada joints is super official. Cam is the future. We just did something monumental with him the other day. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to hit y'all upside your head with it. I'm gonna be quiet for a lot of things. I'm gonna just surprise the people. But we definitely have a certified anthem for the 2018. You know what I mean? For this first quarter, we definitely stomped
that Prince follow up.
Huh?
We got that Prince follow up.
Yeah, we got that Prince follow up. You already know. Been waiting for that one.
Yeah, it's here. Hard body too, family. It's definitely gonna impact. But shout out beautiful Ciasia. Like he said, log into her live streams She be keeping it 100.
Shout out to the 20 people who hit me back about the investment club. I got a lot of feedback about the investment club. I have 22 participants that have signed up. Salute to all of y'all. We're going to be sending you an email this week. The app is actually getting put together. We're going to take this to a place that it hasn't been taken to. Go and research smart contracts and go and research blockchain. And
Yeah. And for the rest of the family, hit us. You can hit us right here on Know the Ledges inbox. Know the Ledge TV. You can inbox us your information if you have skill sets, talents, you know what I mean, ideas, anything that you want to bring to the table. I'm still doing a closed group for fitness. You know, we're going to be doing daily workouts and exercises. It's on a page called Body Energetics. All right, you can send me a request over there, and we'll get you the information pertaining to the sign up for that. All right, that's definitely going to be monumental. Okay, so we want to utilize these platforms to take people, you know, places that they've never been. It's time to boldly go. You know what I'm saying? To them
yeah,
places where we haven't been as of yet as a people. You know, we need some new things to talk about as a collective. We need new testimonials and testaments as a people. You know, the drab talking the same stuff over and over.
over the rehashing
Yeah,
of
we can't
old
be for that.
hashtag.
It's
Niggas want some
2018.
new
Like, what's the
hashtag.
new? Where's the new?
With that no. But am I still work? Yeah, I'm still working with Soul Messiah. Shout out to him and Rock. Legends. You know what I'm talking about. Um
Uh-huh.
I'm also looking for manufacturers, anybody out there who has access to small scale manufacturing, large scale manufacturing, production of clothes, silkscreen, um, distribution centers, fulfillment centers, anything of the sort. Hit us on our inbox. Graphic designers, embroidery designers, anybody that's in that field, hit us on the inbox. Videographers, editors, video editors, people,
Engineers, right?
musical engineers, people who do mixing and mastering. Hit us on the inbox. All right. We don't want to put the rabbit outside of the hat right now, but there's a big project on the horizon, multiple, but we need our creators, our innovators, our artists to hit us up. We need our brothers and sisters who are in the clothing industry who have access to machinery, labor too, because we want to help brothers and sisters in labor. You know what I mean? Brothers and sisters with access to material, resources, machinery. Hit us up. Let us go. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this. We've been getting requests about doing speaking engagements around the United States of America. Hit us up on the inbox as well. You know what I mean? So we about to put this calendar out, and we'll let you know what dates we have available. But this is the stop on us Facebook page. Utilize this Facebook page, like the page, hit the bell for the notifications, and utilize the messages because we check our messages, if not every day, every 2 days.
Yes, indeed. And apparelnormal.com, Soulgoldbiz, SOLEGOLDBIZ.com, mypowerpieces.com, you know, for your jewelry, all of that good stuff. Ocean 14 Corp. Definitely have some Law 44 updates coming. You know, we're gonna put some more information out leading up, of course, to the Super Bowl. You know, we do around that time.
Yes.
Martin Luther King's born day is on Monday, so you know that would have been an ideal time to roll some things out because he is a 44 resonator. But
Yes.
shout out to him.
We might do something on them. I'm still
Yeah,
trying to, yeah, it's all about timing and everything. But kingscounty.com, kingscounty.bigcartel.com. For the family with the Facts Initiative, salute to all of the supporters, salute to all of the people who signed up. We're actually going to have an announcement about that. That's monumental. Shout out to my brother Dean Cole. I had a good conversation with him tonight. Michael Singleton, we have an update about that program and whatnot. Shout out to many of the other people that I've been building with over this week on some business shit. You know what I mean? This hibernation season, this winter time is real good for brothers such as myself who have to take some time off to tighten up business, upgrade business, you know, get a lot of things in order and whatnot, and just line things up for the spring equinox. So, you know, yeah, there's just some great things coming. We're working. You know what I mean? The train has left the building. So 2018 is definitely starting out to be a prosperous, rewarding.
Yeah, shout out to all of the creatives out there, the content creatives. You know, whether your thing is media, whether it's design, whether you twisting up beads, whether you whipping up shea butter, whether you whipping up sea moss, whether you putting herbs in plastic bags or whatever you doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you got the candle popping.
Yeah.
You on your candle magic. You got your oud. Shout out to my bro Terrence Hicks in the royal bloodline. Shout out to Conjure Queen and what she's doing over there. You know what I
Amos,
mean?
man,
Shout out to
Amos, make sure you inbox me. I like how you think, brother. You know what I'm saying? Make sure
Ella
that you
Samora. You
let me
know,
read.
uh, we want to do something real big in New York with all of our brothers and sisters with these nice groups and whatnot that are doing their thing. So, you know, shout out to I Love You Fun Day.
Yeah, fun day. Shout out Lake Cool.
Shout out to Kafunya, Sabir, and Taj Tariq will be at Nicholas on Sunday. I'll see you, the family out there. I'll be in the building with my Kings County clothing for the children. We got the whole new children's line as an answer to the whole H&M thing. We didn't get emotional. We just put out a children's collection. So, you know, you can support positive. We kings of the jungle. You know what I mean? Push that narrative.
Lake Cool say he gonna have a free e-course for the family next Friday. Shout out Lake Cool.
Shout out to Lay Cool. You know what I mean?
Chicago Crypto Hustler. Shout out Pup.
I built with Chicago this week too. We had a real good conversation. Lay Cool, if you could hit me up, hit me on the phone tomorrow, please. I got a bill with you. Maybe we could do a meeting in Harlem next week. We actually, if there's anybody in Harlem with a workspace, or if there's anybody in New York with a workspace, like you're the most important person right now. You know what I'm saying? We need to actually see you and have that conversation with you because if there's anything that's needed during this winter season, it's a workplace. Preferably a place like a loft where it's multi-purpose, where we can have an artist commune and everybody could get busy. But the idea of a workplace, I'm actually going to start doing some live streams for KTL Empowerment where we're going to talk about workplaces. We're going to talk about incubators, accelerators, smart cities, startups, all of these different terms that some of us may not even know exist, but these are part of the quote unquote booming economy that exists right underneath our noses right now while we're punching the clock and trying to figure out how to make the next dollar. There are a lot of things in this new economy that is prevailing, is growing at an exponential rate. Like I said, go and research the blockchain, go and research Ethereum and other things, and just tap into this new business model that promises this is the answer to this is the algorithm to not a majority, a very large amount of the problems. Remember, the places that they're liking to call shitholes, they're leading in this new technology. They're leading in these new economies. They're leading in utilizing a new direction on how to move versus the share economy, the trust economy, all of these things, the blockchain. Zimbabwe is using the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency through their mobile in ways that Americans have not even been introduced to as of yet. This is Zimbabwe, people. You feel what I'm saying? If you go on Google tech entrepreneurs in Africa, you'll come up with a list of about 50 names. All majority young melanated people. They own it.
Bitcoin is not valued the same in every market. It's
Yes.
valued more in certain markets. So Asia has a different value. Africa got a different value. Don't allow them to rock you to sleep with this shithole conversation. There's a lot of advancements, technological leapfrog advancements taking place in Africa. If nothing else, we need to be looking to hook up with the diaspora right now.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying? Because they are making waves in tech. You know what I'm saying? They are very far advanced in blockchain and all of that. Like they're getting busy with the crypto.
Yes. So even in New York with high rents, the reason why it's so affordable to a large contingency of inhabitants and they're piling in into New York by the, you know, by the hundreds on a weekly basis is because they're tapping into the abundance of the technological wealth inside of that sector. $4,000 and $3,000 rent and $5,000 and $10,000 rent for storefronts and brick and mortars and stuff like that, or R&D, research and development, work and workplaces. It's a no-brainer because they have multiple inside of an incubator. You could have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 startups in there, and they're all getting $1 million seed money, multi-million dollar. They're doing crowd campaigns, crowdfunding, or they call it crowdsourcing and crowd packs. They have startup communities all around America right now, in Kansas, in Nashville, in Atlanta, in the Carolinas, wherever you find Google Fiber, they have startup communities. These startup communities are thriving. They're pushing out billion-dollar businesses called startups, not the shit niggas is trying to do barbershops. No, they're doing startups. A startup is an idea. It's a white paper. People have startups. The Bitcoin is a white paper. The toast with my Sakamoto, with my dude, was it Katoshi Sakamoto?
Satoshi.
Natoshi
Satoshi.
Sakamoto. Because I had a rhyme, snap a photo with Satoshi Sakamoto. Listen, my shit copyrighted. If I had any of you niggas eating the bars. So we just have to have a conversation. But we got to have this conversation in a place where the aesthetics match the conversation. Satoshi Nakamoto. There you go. We have to have this conversation in the same kind of studio that Alex Jones is having a conversation, putting people under a fear spell, putting people under a conspiracy theorist spell. You know, Taxstone said the majority of people in the federal system is in there for conspiracy. That's what Taxstone said in the interview with Tahoe. He said the majority of the people inside of the federal system, he said it's a bunch of young niggas and old niggas, and the majority of people doing the time is there for conspiracy. For everybody running around
On them fucking phones, B.
Yeah, everything is a
Other people's
conspiracy.
business.
Everything is a conspiracy.
Everything.
Everything is and you got to remember, the feds are locking people up for conspiracies. So you niggas better watch out with your conspiracy theories. Only speak facts. Stop speaking. How about that? Everybody just want to speak. Whatever happened to holding some water? You have to master the art of journalism. You have to master the art of communication. You have to master the art of speech. You can't just run around with this rhetoric talking about everything to everybody all of the time, everywhere that you go. What the fuck is that? And you don't do nothing. You're not building anything. You don't have a white paper. You don't have a documentary to explain what your movement is about. You don't have literature. You don't have authors to back you up. You don't have professors that are co-signing the shit that you're saying.
You don't have an advanced ideology to say this is our vision for RBG Black America
2080.
2080.
You don't have a 5, 50, 100-year plan. It doesn't, and if it exists,
where's the propaganda?
Yeah, if it exists, where's the propaganda? Because I checked out everything that was thrown at the wall to see if it could stick. There's no propaganda being thrown at the wall. Nobody is putting anything necessarily out there. Yeah, I know that black people got buying power. We're being miseducated. We're being poisoned. The tomatoes are hybrid. There's documentaries on all of that. But who is preparing us to create our own smart cities? Who's preparing us to create our own maker communities? Who's creating a coder community, a hackathon? Who's creating all of the futuristic things that we're going to need to compete in a global race so you don't become and stay a fourth class citizen? That's not the conversation that's permeating a community that has a collective node of millions of brain cells. Them niggas have a collective node of millions of black brains in this community. You saw it, you see the numbers generate themselves. So the conversation or the narrative has to be advanced. We're out here telling y'all, listen, holla at your peoples, hit us on the inbox, get behind the movement, get behind the platform, get behind doing, and we're going to show and prove rather than just talk about things and report about things and react to things, because there's no power in that. You know what I'm saying? We could easily disseminate information and do what we have to do by demystifying what people think is so fucking mystical and so big. How many times was the world supposed to end? How many times was y'all supposed to get put in that empty Walmart FEMA camp that you niggas keep going back to visit on YouTube? How many times was your EBT snap supposed to get cut? All of these people, all of these instances where people are waiting to get abused and burnt at stakes. That's not what we're here for. We could care less about that. That's not our purpose. We're not part of that herd. So,
Shout out Papa Heru,
yeah,
the legend.
super legend.
All right. And salute to all of you. All right. Like I said, Brother Amos, make sure you hit us in the inbox. All right. So we could do something super duper official. All right. We appreciate everyone who has put a little bit of time aside this evening to tune in to this broadcast, this demonstration. All right. Appreciate everybody in the chat room for your feedback as well. And yeah, you know, this is not for entertainment purposes though. So let the information seep in, seek in, you know what I mean? And utilize it. Do something with it. This is jewelry. All right. This is raw minerals. You feel me? So put it to proper use. Okay. So we want to say thank you. We're gonna call it kind of early this evening. It's a Friday night. I would imagine it, you know, you good people have something to get into. You know what I'm saying? And you just took some time out of your evening to see what them pills had to talk about. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you. I honor your time. I honor your attention. I honor the energy given. And we appreciate you. All right. And we will do this again shortly, family.
Yeah, I believe Tuesday is the next
Installment.
day. Yeah, I do a Monday series called Melanin Mondays. You'll see me on Monday going in, wrapping up a lot of the stories for the weekend, and you know whatever's going on Monday. Look out for that on my page, my Facebook page, Phil T. Moreland, and on my Instagram, EL_Filthmore. And then Tuesday we'll be back on Notaledge TV for more of that real cloth talk. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? And I just want to say, y'all all right? You know what I mean? Love and light to the family. Thank y'all for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. You know, we work off of your energy. This is a reciprocal conversation. This is a reciprocal transmission. It's based off of the energy that you give us. We give it back to you. You're able to pull the best of us out of us, this innate inside of us, similar to what we're doing to you. We're forcing you and we're challenging you to tap into your higher self or a higher part of yourself, or to elevate your mind state or your mentality or your minds to think and to see and to challenge your eyes.
Yeah, family, if you are in New York City tomorrow, the Black Comic Book Con is going to be at the Schomburg Center. Okay, and of course they're gonna have all sorts of panels dealing with Black Panther and black superheroes, melanated superheroes, carbonated superheroes. Make sure if you're in the city, especially if you got some children, you know what I mean, that you bring them through there, let them see that in real time. It's gonna be dope. All right, we got a music video coming on the way. It should be sometime next week because I had a target date to be dropping it today on the 13th. I wanted to line my fours up, but we're working on getting it released exclusively, you know, on a particular platform. So we'll be talking about that in the next few days. And then we're working on some new material, some more dynamic creations, you know what I mean? So that's why we gotta get to sleep a little bit early. Got a big day tomorrow. Appreciate you. Peace, love, and light. Hit us in the inbox so we could take this dialogue beyond the parameters, you know what I'm saying, of this celluloid box that they got us trapped in. You know, we can make this thing do what it do. This is a beautiful year ahead of us. You know, what a time to be alive. You know, no day is better than the best day, and that's today that you are here. Embrace it, enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, many more shall be afforded to you. All right.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yes. All right.
Let me drop it on you.
No music.
No.
You don't have no music to end it with.
Nah.
Yeah, hit me up on my Patreon too. Patreon.com/Red Pillar. Salute to all of my Patreons who have pulled up and made a pledge to the artistic endeavors and the work and the research and development. So salute to all of my Patreons. Patreon.com/Red Pillar. PALPILLAR. And the twin pillars.bandcamp.com for the music. Okay. All right. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.